Okay, it's Alex Guzman back with an impromptu episode of La Mesa. Yeah, I took an extended hiatus there. Had a lot going on. Received lots of messages during the break, and just gracias. I really appreciate the encouragement that I received from many of you over the last few months. It's really good to know that you all related to La Mesa and to the content and to the message that we were trying to put out there, and that there was a need. Anticipate some changes to the format of the show, but feel like you can reach out. I want to hear from you all. La Mesa is about creating community and having that dialogue as part of it. So, thank you. Okay, mi gente. So why are we here today? Because it's September 20th, 2022, the 5th year anniversary of Hurricane Maria striking Puerto Rico, and it feels like deja vu. Puerto Rico is once again facing the devastating effects of natural disaster. And while Hurricane Fiona was not as large or as severe as Maria, when it struck Puerto Rico, it was just as catastrophic. In part due to the lackluster recovery the island had after Maria. There are a lot of great sources if you want to know about that history, the failures of FEMA, the U.S. imposed fiscal control board. I'll post some links below. They can explain that much better than I can. But what I do know that surges from that history is that because of this vacuum of or lack of government response and effectiveness, Puerto Ricans take matters into their own hands. You may have seen my thread on Twitter highlighting grassroots organizations in Puerto Rico, and so that's what I want to do today. I just want to take time to talk about those organizations here and urge you to make a donation if you're able to, even as little as $5. Many of these organizations arose in the aftermath of Maria. They have a long history of providing services directly to the people of Puerto Rico, and they're the organizations that are best equipped to do it right now. So, with that, we'll start. I think, just bear with me because I'm literally going through the Twitter thread. I didn't expect it to get as big as it did. I'll say it feels somewhat cathartic to be able to share information this effectively, because usually we're stuck at home waiting for news. Those of us in the diaspora, often are just left with what if and wondering. Luckily, we heard pretty quickly this time around, but our family still doesn't have electricity or water, and the water is the most concerning part, especially for my cousins who don't have, for my cousins who have young children. I just can't imagine. And they're in the north of the island. The southwestern side of the island got struck. Much worse. And all of the island has had to face really torrential downpours. The flooding has just been exacerbated. And you've probably seen images of the destruction. It's really unfathomable to me, especially to see beaches where I spent a lot of my childhood. So, any little bit that you can help, please do. I hope to be able to put together some sort of benefit here in Virginia too, to help some of these organizations, but we'll see. And if you feel better you know, having me donate on your behalf. I'm happy to do that too. You can send me a direct message. Okay, so let's start with Tayed Salud. Tayed Salud, I want to. Sorry, I really should have had a lot of this pulled up. Yeah, so Tayed Salud is a feminist organization fighting for women's health and development in Puerto Rico. Um, they do a lot of direct service work. Right now, they're seeking, if you're in Puerto Rico and can provide direct items or have a way of sending them, they're seeking non perishable food, disposable containers, toiletries, cutlery, solar lanterns, water filters, adult and baby diapers, gallons of water, pasta and pasta sauce. Um, you can also PayPal them. That's the most effective way to get these donations to them. That way they can buy what they need. Hopefully, we'll see. What the logistical challenges are in the island in the days ahead. But they do have a PayPal account. I'll link that as well. You can also note it in the Twitter thread, which I'll link. Okay, so Tayed Salud, they have a lot of support on the island. Highly recommend it. The next group is Brigada Solidaria del Oeste. They are a self-managed community initiative on the western side of the island, composed of various organizations from all of the different towns on the western coast. And they arose after Hurricane Maria, as I said, a lot of these organizations did. And so they're putting together actions and trying to provide immediate relief and resources to the people that need it most, looking for water purification tablets, solar lamps, water filters, first aid kits, and of course, as I said, they also have PayPal. The other way to make donations is an app called ATH Mobile or ATH Mobile. Ugh. Hate saying it that way. Sorry. Ugh. ATH Mobile. You can download it. It's essentially like Venmo. Next organization is Ayuda Legal Puerto Rico. It is Puerto Rico's legal aid organization. They have been instrumental in ensuring that those who are owed payments, FEMA payments from Hurricane Maria, receive them, and connecting Puerto Ricans to the federal bureaucracy. After that, they've also been really critical in Puerto Rico's eviction crisis. Just an outstanding organization. They're also the island's only fair housing certified organization, members of the National Fair Housing Alliance. So this is an organization that I know personally. Their executive director is incredible, and you can donate to them via PayPal or at the HMOE. I think while they are not necessarily handing out water and clothes right in the aftermath, they really help Boricuas manage the bureaucracy that comes with disaster and living in the disaster zone. And so I highly recommend them. Fundación Pisadas de Amor. They provide senior citizens and their families aid, including food donations and home repairs. Again, you can donate to them through PayPal. or ATH Móvil. Their focus, as I said, on senior citizens. Let's see. This one I'm translating from Spanish, so excuse me in real time. But Waves Ahead Puerto Rico. They provide support to marginalized and vulnerable sectors in society, to offer them necessary help in their community and family. So, that one came recommended on Twitter from folks who'd worked with them. They look to be very focused on LGBTQ plus issues, and offering services focused on mental health and psychosocial health for those populations. So, if that's your passion, I recommend Waves Ahead Puerto Rico, and you'll see their information below. Okay, Casa Pueblo, also very popular grassroots community organization. I believe that they are still trying to figure out their best response in light of the needs they've been providing, that are building sustainable solar power too throughout the island. Have just done really incredible work. I'll leave their PayPal below. I haven't seen anything else about whether they're seeking specific donations, but all else fails. Money is never a terrible thing. Mochileando. If you don't know, in Spanish, the word mochila is backpack. Mochilear is kind of the play on the verb for backpacking. And so, Will Mochileando is a backpacker traveler account from Puerto Rico, and he has a foundation, and they're collecting a bunch of donations and giving them out firsthand, or distributing them as they get them. The other thing about this foundation is that they have a particular focus on animals, and they're trying to house about 200 animals right now that were evacuated from an animal sanctuary. And so they could really use the help if you're an animal lover, a travel lover, love that community. William Mochileando is your guy. And that information will be there. Techos pa mi gente. One of the iconic images after Hurricane Maria was the blue tarps covering the roofs that had been blown away. And even up to today, 5 years to the day that Hurricane Maria landed, there's still about 300 homes with missing roofs that have the blue tarps. This organization helps reconstruct those roofs. Techos pa mi gente. They also do some home rehabilitation. They do have a Venmo. They've got their account number, Banco Popular, PayPal, ATH Móvil. I'll drop that information. Again, I can't fathom that 5 years to the day, and there's still that many roofs missing off the homes in Puerto Rico. It's unconscionable. All right, comedores sociales. they are food halls, community food halls that get established throughout the island. One of the things that I want to mention is sometimes you hear about groups like World Central Kitchen from Jose Andres. It's an organization that I admire deeply, and that does great work throughout the world, and they're very effective. And they often, very often, end up working with organizations like Comedores Sociales, right? And so the question of should you give to this organization or that organization, you're going to have a direct impact with Comedores Sociales and know that it's going to go to Puerto Rico. Whereas some of these bigger humanitarian organizations, it's going to get earmarked into a general fund typically. And so you don't know if you're benefiting Puerto Rico or you're benefiting Ukraine. And again, nothing wrong with benefiting either, but in this instance, I really want to promote these organizations in Puerto Rico because they will be there for the long haul. After the Hispanic Federation, World Central Kitchen, Red Cross, after they all leave, Comedores Sociales de Puerto Rico is still there. Calle en Salud is still there. And so I think that's a really just critical point to make here. So Comedores Sociales de Puerto Rico, their community food halls. You can donate to their PayPal, and I'll leave that information up. Next organization is Enlace. They're a student-run organization out of Ponce. Ponce is a major city on Puerto Rico's southern side, the side that got hit the most. I don't think that Ponce got hit too terribly, but the municipalities near there did. Enlace is a student-run community service organization. They're collecting donations to aid underserved communities and those affected by the hurricane. Monetary donations via Venmo or at Deja. We'll post that below. I'll post it all below. I don't think I need to keep saying that. Student groups at Ponce Health Sciences University are also collecting aid donations and distributing them to their local community members. They're accepting clothes, food, socks, underwear, hygiene items, and over-the-counter medications, and also, again, monetary items. At Teatro Móvil, Venmo. Thank you to Melanie Usman, who was a student there, for providing that information. Okay, Gatas con Causa. So they help uplift communities near San Juan by creating community economic, educational, environmental programs. Came recommended by quite a few people, and I'll leave that information below. Let's keep going. Plentitude PR. They're a nonprofit providing sustainable aid in the town of Las Marias. Their center is currently open so that people can go charge their phones, refrigerate medications, and get access to potable water. I think I read the statistic that something like 70% of the population of Las Marias lives under the poverty line. That's pretty stark. So definitely consider donating to that organization, that community that's very much in need. Okay. This organization, ASI, Alimentación Segura Infantil. There we go. Alimentación Segura Infantil. So they work to provide nutrition for infants and young children. So I think they have a milk bank and provide infant formula. They also have lactation specialists that help communities in need, and they're seeking donations. I think as a society, we often overlook the needs of mothers, especially in times of emergency. So definitely consider alimentación segura infantil. Okay, La Conde. They're an anti-racist, LGBTQ plus inclusive community collective in Carolina, Puerto Rico. They are affiliated with Parceleras Afro-Caribeñas, and they're seeking donations to provide hot meals to community members. Carolina and Loisa are kind of the center of the Afro-Puerto Rican community on the islands, and so if that's your calling, those communities are definitely some of the most overlooked communities, some of the most marginalized communities in Puerto Rico, but also the ones that have, I think, given Puerto Rico a sense of its national identity and culture, and that's not a conversation that Puerto Ricans have nearly enough. And not a conversation that I'm necessarily equipped to have, but that's why I think it's important to donate to organizations like La Conde. Let's see. Ciencia Puerto Rico, which you typically, when times are normal, is providing access to resources in the sciences across Puerto Rico. But right now, what are they doing? They're providing direct service, and they're collecting donations and working with community networks on the ground. So if you can support them while they are in this time of activation and action, I love to see that these organizations that typically have, quote unquote, one mission are activating to meet general needs. That I think that's just a beautiful thing. Okay. Also saw a great Google Doc. I didn't vet it, but the info is incredibly extensive, so I'll share that as well. This is all I wanted to do tonight, was get behind a microphone and highlight these organizations and urge you all to give and learn a little bit about Puerto Rico. It's a place that is filled with incredible beauty and incredible people, but that has been neglected and traumatized over and over. And it hurts me because my family has to suffer through that. And they deserve better. They deserve better. And I think oftentimes when we come to the United States, when our families come to the United States, it's because they're seeking better. And we know that back home, they deserve better too. my parents wouldn't have left if they didn't feel like they needed to. I'm sure many of you sympathize with that. I've heard stories of families that have become naturalized U.S. citizens, and it hurt them to have to do that in a way, because leaving one's country is not easy. It's not easy. And while I'm here and my family's there, this is the least that I can do. So thank you. Stay tuned for more from La Mesa. We'll share some news, some commentary, an interview, and really focus on creating community connection. Until next time, I'm Alex Guzman. Buenas noches.